The National Student Financial Aid Scheme has halted funding for 5,000 students for this year. This after SARS alerted the scheme that the students come from homes with an income of more than 350,000 rand threshold. The students have 2 weeks to petition the decision. Let's take you to eNCA's Tshegohaco Moagi, who is covering that story for us. So, Tshegohaco, it seems the NSFAS is doing a bit of due diligence and in the process are finding that the scheme has been funding people that they are not supposed to be funding?
Absolutely, Tula. So from what we understand, after a brief conversation that I had with the NSFAS administrator, he says that they are now working with SARS to ensure that the people that they are funding actually deserve this funding. They are concerned that there are some people whose families and the household exceeds the 350,000 rand threshold. However, he is saying that with the 14-day period that they have given to the students to respond and to say whether or not circumstances have changed, then they need to do this within the 14-day period. And quite interestingly, Tulas, I did speak to some of the students who were told that they'll be defunded by NSFAS, and they are saying that one of the students that I spoke to mentioning to me that the only thing that has really changed is that his mom actually got an increase, and the difference is then an extra 137 rand from what she was actually earning, and that then increases it according to NSFAS. So the administrator really also just saying that they are concerned that they are funding people that actually are able to afford school fees and to afford paying for university fees. But he was very sympathetic during the interview that we had, also stating that as much as they understand that this has been done during the year, so mid-year, he is very sympathetic and really has urged people to ensure that they respond to the 14-day call and really just send through the relevant documentation.
And you've been engaging with student organizations, haven't you? What are they saying?
Absolutely. So the student body, SASCO, saying that they are very disappointed in NSFAS for doing this mid-year. They're also calling that the Minister, Blade Nzimande, actually creates a new board, that there's a new board that needs to be appointed for NSFAS. But they are also saying that the threshold needs to actually be increased to about 600,000 rand. But let's just take a listen to what Atenkosi from SASCO had to say.
We feel that it's very opportunistic of him to want to do this at this time when there's an uncertainty in the sector, when there's uncertainty about the academic year. Some students are preparing for their exams now, semester exams. Some are awaiting registration, second semester registrations. Now you receive an SMS or an email or whatever that says you have been unfunded by NSFAS. You're already going through your stress of exams. You're already going through COVID-19 implications and complications. We are already going through your family crisis. You're already being frustrated by e-learning. Now, on top of it all, you must now stress about new struggles of renting, or your parent must start stressing about rent, tuition fee, must start stressing about new things now that must pay for you. And we feel that it's very inhuman.
I'm wondering, Tshegohaco, that looking at the figures that we're talking about, the threshold of 350,000 rand per household, and the example that you were giving, that some of the students you've been talking to, basically the parent would have received an increase that raises their income by 150 rand per month. That's not something that then suggests all of a sudden that you'll be able to afford some of our university fees. I'm wondering to what extent this talks to this issue that we've always talked about in this country of the so-called missing middle.
Absolutely, Tulas. I mean, that is quite an interesting bit, because you'd remember that there are a lot of students who actually cannot afford to go to university at this stage. And I mean, just that one student that I spoke to, he's got two other siblings. He's got a twin sibling and also a sister. And the mother then is currently paying for the twin sibling. So the issue of the missing middle, it feels like it will be one that we'll be continuously speaking about, because it seems those people continuously are just left out, but the NSFAS really saying that they are trying their best to ensure that no one is left out, that those that deserve this funding are actually able to get it.
Yeah, Tshegohaco Moagi, thank you so much. She's watching that story around the NSFAS, the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, basically halting funding for some 5,000 students that they say have exceeded the threshold for assistance.